Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on the video. It's been a long time since I made a video like this. I actually ended up buying a house over the summer, so that took up a lot of my time and money. So unfortunately, the GTO is still naturally aspirated. However, I do have some pretty cool parts to show you today. We're going to be putting on this winter. So over here we have the Supercharger. This is a Magnuson Gen 2 2650 from Boost District. I went with this option because it comes as a whole kit. It comes with pretty much everything you need to get it on the car. This pulley will probably be coming off. So I talked about this in the other video. I was just going to run my LS2 accessory drive and maybe do like an Innovators West pulley kit. I'm not doing none of that anymore. That's a waste of time. I'm going to be running either an 8-rib or a 10-rib LSA belt drive. So it'll be a dedicated drive for the Supercharger. And the reason for that is I'm not going to have the belt flying off constantly. It's just going to be a pain in the ass. So we're not going to do that anymore. This way it'll be much nicer. So I got some Cometic head gaskets here. Those will be good. Under here, I have a little, I guess you'd call it like a coolant reservoir. I'm probably going to get a bigger one down the road. Here we have the heat exchanger, booster pump, coolant crossover. Up here I have, this is a dual 450 fuel pump setup. I believe it's from, I could be wrong, hopefully I'm not. Chris1313 on Facebook. He built this, and it is pretty sweet. So it's going to be a return style fuel system on E85, obviously. That's pretty much the right way to do it. I got my valley cover up here, some gaskets. These are adapters for running cathedral port heads, but we don't need to use those because in this box I have some Frankenstein M311 Boost Monster heads. I'll show you guys here in a minute. So here's the drive shaft I picked out. This is a carbon fiber one-piece drive shaft. I wanted to go chromoly steel, and the drive shaft shop basically told me that was going to cause a lot of vibration, that they could do it, but this seemed to be the better option, being that the car is going to go to the drag strip twice a year. It's going to go to power cruise. It's going to go to, hopefully, ice cream cruise, do a lot of roll racing. You know, a couple of drag races a year. This should be fine. They said it shouldn't break or anything. And if it does, they said they'd replace one for me. So I'm not too worried about it. If it does break, I'm just going to get a chromoly one and deal with the vibration. But so this is a PDS Stage 4 cam from Brian Tooley Racing. I got this cam, and I'm not sure if I'm going to run it or if I'm going to get a custom cam and maybe sell this one. This cam is kind of good for the setup I'm doing, though, because it's made for setups that are over 400 cubic inches, and it's good for 2650 superchargers, and it makes power to 7,500 RPM. So it should be a good cam. But it is an off-the-shelf cam. There's always more power on the table when you have a custom cam. So here's the cylinder heads, or at least one of them. This is a Frankenstein M311 Boost Monster cylinder head. So these are rectangular port LS3 style heads. I was just going to do LS3 heads with some better valves and springs, but I know these cost a pretty penny, but I'm hoping they're going to be worth it. I saved up for a while to get these bad boys. Take a look at the valves here. Yeah, these should go really good with the 2650. I'm excited. If you guys were wondering what the cam specs are on the PDS Stage 4 cam, here they are. It should chop pretty good. I didn't want to give up the cam chop. I really like that. Here's the transmission I got for the GTO. So this is a T56 Magnum F that's been built for 900 horsepower. It came out of my friend Mike's GTO, but he was running a LS1 with a cam, and So this transmission was very overbuilt for his setup. So it should work pretty good for what I'm doing. Here is the monster triple disc clutch I got for the setup. It's good for 1100 horsepower. I got a shim kit with it and kind of all the options. The speed bleeder make it a lot easier on myself. So over here we have some miscellaneous things I'll need. A lot of wiring adapters, bolts, spark plugs. I mean, just a bunch of stuff that's not that exciting. These are 1300cc injectors. I have a better oil pan baffle in there. Stuff like that. I'm going to keep these valve covers. I may paint them. I'm going to keep the catch can. It'll just be routed differently. I will have it come out of the oil fill, and then I will probably drill and tap something over there. That way it's got, bigger hoses for the boosted setup. The LS7 mass airflow sensor I'm keeping. Possibly the throttle body, depends if I can get a 112 millimeter one. This intake will be gone. Not sure if I'm going to sell it or keep it or what I'm going to do, but I plan on having my friend Juan build me a 5-inch intake for the Supercharger. This LS2, not sure if I'm going to keep it, sell it. Somebody should buy it from me before I get bad ideas. Obviously the full exhaust and whatnot I'm going to keep. So this is the new engine block. Originally I was going to do an iron block 6.0. This is another LS2 block. So I got a hold of Thompson Motorsports, and I have CP Carrillo pistons, Cali's Compstar Extreme rods, CCW crankshaft. So it's a Manley CCW crankshaft, and this was their 1800 horsepower package. Now, being that this is an aluminum block, the sleeves are the weakest link, so this build won't be going over 1,000. If we hit 1,000, that's where we're going to cut it off, which 1,000 is a shit ton of horsepower for a street car. So I just got a little timing set here. I also have a LS2's timing set with a heavy-duty chain, so not sure what I'll do there. But I have ARP rod bolts and ARP main studs and all that, so this thing was built really well. The rings were gapped for 20 pounds of boost. As far as lifters, I was going to run a link bar. I think now I'm going to run Johnson 2110Rs. I've just been waiting for them to come back in stock because they're pretty much out of stock everywhere. Well, at least they are when I'm recording this video. So, going to do that with some new GM trays. And it should be a really solid block. One thing I did forget to mention is that I'm going to be running 10.5:1 compression, for those of you wondering. Well, that about does it for this video. I should be posting, hopefully, some videos while I'm building this and kind of going through things, but we'll see, because I say that a lot and then kind of get working on it, and I don't want to take the time to film, so we'll see what happens, but thanks for watching.